Now, as Christians, how much validity should we give to other religions? Can we learn religious truth from them, for example? How much can we affirm before we begin to sacrifice our own religious convictions?
This is another difficult question, and I think much depends on how you frame the question. You framed it in a very helpful way. In answering it, I would want to go first to the commonalities that we have as human beings created by God in His image. And I lived in Japan for many years. Japanese are people, they're like you and I. They have families, they work hard. They have high ethical standards. Like all of us, they fail to meet their ethical standards and so on. If you begin from the perspective of creation, God the Creator, human beings as God's creatures, then you will begin with a position that sees certain commonalities across cultures and even across religions. I think you will find significant commonality across religions when it comes to ethical teachings, for example. It's very interesting in the Confucian Analects, written 3 to 5 centuries before Christ, you have twice the statement of the Golden Rule. And then later in the writings on Mencius, the same thing. I don't find that problematic. The Chinese, created in God's image, God's common grace, God's general revelation, is available to them, and so I would expect to find these kinds of commonalities across religious traditions. Now, of course, you're going to find a lot of differences. Many religions don't believe in a creator God, and so that's a fundamental difference between Christian teachings and other religions. And those that do believe in a creator, classical Judaism and Islam, for example, will disagree with Christianity on the question of the incarnation and the Trinity. So there are clear fundamental differences. But I think we need to be open to the complexity of religious traditions and how religious people actually live today in communities. And where we find similarities, we affirm them. And where we find differences, we also clearly acknowledge the differences.